Hey everyone, I'm Wes Seago, and this is ASD Term 1301 Week 2 reflection video. And in this video, I'm going to discuss this week's assignment, what went well, what or not so well, what skills I relied on to get this project done, and I'm going to talk a little bit about an example of an app that uses remote data. So to begin with, what went well? Well, have to say that this was probably the easiest week for me in about 6 months. Everything went really, really well. Um, I've kind of turned a corner with JavaScript and jQuery to where now I really just don't. I look at it differently. I think I remember Lee Lewis talking about back in SDI talking about trying to get you to think like a programmer, and I feel like now when I look at the assignment, rather than think about books and videos and where I can go to look at examples, I really more attack it from what do I need to do, what logic would I need to do, and then just write that down and write the functions one by one and knock it out. And that's what I did this week. It was really quick. It was really, I really enjoyed it. I had a good feeling from it. What went not so well, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you that I wasted about 2 hours. I started out writing my JavaScript button, and when I was watching the videos, Josh talked about XML was going to be one of the harder ones, and obviously JSON was going to be the easiest one for us because we do have experience with JSON. And I had a problem writing my JSON function. I sat there for 2 hours and I wrote it and I rewrote it, couldn't get it to work. Started console logging everything, alerting everything, and after about 2 hours, I realized I did not have a valid JSON data file. So, that didn't sit too well with me. But once I got through that, went back, wrote the function. The XML one actually, to me, was the easiest one. I wrote it in probably 40 minutes, including the data file. It was just real quick. And all three of the functions were very similar. Just a matter of getting out how you were going to get that data into the form really took the most time, or how to format it into the form. So go through my app real quick. This is the one I've been working on. It's a medication tracker for your kids, and a lot of the people that have gone through these classes with me kind of know the story. My wife and my daughter were both sick, and my wife was taking 3 different medications, and my daughter was taking 2 medications. And my wife had taken out a sheet of paper and she had it laying on the bar, and she was writing down every time she gave herself and the baby medicine. So I thought, that was right about the time that VFW was rolling around and we were supposed to start working on an app. So I thought, hey, here's an app that I can work with that will actually benefit my wife, and it'd be really cool to have something like that to build my first app and have it something that we would use. But last week I ran a little short on time, so this week I finished up my CRUD. All 4 of my CRUD CRUD items of work. So before, this is basically, I had my form, fill out the form, submit the form, display the data. So this week I added this load data page. So back before, whenever you would, just like everyone else's app, you display your data. It gives you the data. You got your buttons where you can, or your links. Some people probably use links, but you can delete them and get rid of that stuff. Worked all of that out this week in jQuery, finishing it up. Edit event where it'll go over and repopulate the form and so on. But this week I went ahead and added the functionality for the assignment for getting the other data. So I added this page, the load data page, and the 3 functions that I chose, or the 3 data sources that I chose, were JSON, XML, and CSV. So for JSON, basically it just runs it, loads, I put my 5 pieces of information in there, and came back incidentally this evening. Jen, I did a little code review with me since I finished early, and she said it would be nice to add this, so I ran in there tonight and added that. It's actually going to a single display page, so my XML data and, of course, the CSV data. So that's it. This week went really well, and I certainly hope that next week and the week after go this well. I mean, I will be in really good shape if that goes on. But getting back to it, the last question for this video was show off some examples of apps that pull in remote data and to do a little research on how that data is formatted. Well, I actually went out and started to think about different types of apps, and one of the hot things out there right now is pretty much all of the Google stuff, the Google Drive, their cloud program, and whatnot. So in researching that, I found that Google, for Chrome, or for their little sandbox or their environment of applications, they use a product called AngularJS that's a framework. And it was very interesting to find out that every single application that works in any package app that works for Google Chrome requires, believe it or not, a JSON data file. And it's called manifest.json, and that's where the information is actually sent to Chrome to unpackage the application. So it was pretty cool to find that out, to think that, you know, this is a really almost lightweight data source, but that it is used that way for something as big as, you know, Google Chrome or Google's entire environment. So I thought that was really cool. And one other thing, if you have an interest in AngularJS or learning about any of that, right over here, notice that you can go to GitHub and search out AngularJS and actually get the source code for it, see how that works. So that's all for this week, though. I hope everyone had a good week, and thanks for watching.